Hello and welcome and hello. I hate to do it to you folks, hate to subject you to another broadcast, but I'm going to do it to you anyway because, guys, I've just been super busy this week and I'm going over my own stocks the week that was, doing a little Danny deals week in review and doing so weekly. So I thought I would bother you guys while I'm at it and talk about Nio, ticker symbol NIO. Guys, this is one of those junky Chinese EV stocks that just makes a really compelling product. Sort of the base of it is battery swap, where they actively change the battery in the car with another fully charged battery in like 3 to 4 minutes. It really works. CATL just jumped on board. They're going to aggressively build out their own battery swap network. And then I don't know if anybody's watching this. I don't know if anybody pardon me. I don't know if anybody can hear me. There's still 0 viewers showing, but sometimes there's a little bit of a delay. No comments as yet. Oh, there's somebody. Hello and welcome. Colombian Kingpin is here. How's it going, Colombian Kingpin 347? Good to see you back. Javier. Hello, Javier. Hello. So Neo's absolutely going nuts. As you guys know, it's up 13% on the day. Volume 177 million, up another 3 pennies after hours, probably some fairly significant volume. You can see on the chart, it's not, crazy spikes in volume. The algorithm, the short, is still trying to hold this thing. And you can see that by the daily. I mean, it shoots up till about 10:30 and it checks back a little at 6:50 and it just controls it the rest of the day. So there is a lot of money controlling this stock. And it's been in this really weird sort of push and pull situation with the Hong Kong exchange, which, my understanding is doesn't really allow sort of short selling. It's a lot more straightforward. You can only really buy and sell shares on that index. And to sell the shares, you actually have to own the shares. What a novel concept. So like sort of active shorting and puts, and it just doesn't work the same way over there. I'm not active on the Hong Kong exchange. Don't have that level of sophistication, but that's my understanding. So what's happening is it keeps pushing up in Hong Kong and then they push it down here. So it gaps down there, pushes back up, gaps up here, pushes back down. And it's just sort of been this accordion Mexican standoff situation going back and forth. But the bottom line is everybody wants to acquire this stock. I mean, the volume in Hong Kong has been nuts. Look at the volume here. I mean, it was 145 yesterday, 177 million shares traded today. I mean, even for Nio, that's a lot. That's pretty crazy. And why is Nio getting this much attention? Well, the obvious reason right now, right here, is it didn't really go up yesterday along with the other Chinese EV stocks, and China announced this massive stimulus combined with rate cuts. They're trying to get the economy moving, trying to get the property sector going again. But Nio is going to be a huge beneficiary of this. And you see the fact that Nio is a favorite of the Chinese state at all different levels. They bailed out this company and they made money doing it. And I think the Chinese authorities see the opportunity to control the standard in terms of battery swap, in terms of EV. I think that's why they're pushing Nio to the forefront. I think that's why Nio's aggressively going overseas, building plants to build battery swap stations, one in Turkey. They're building 2 more in China. They're building 2 new factories in China. One for the Firefly sub-brand, which is the 3rd brand coming out. I mean, for me, Nio makes sensible decisions. It's like that movie where, Will Ferrell was playing like a mattress store owner and he had some tattoo on his neck in Sanskrit. And he's like, Owen Wilson. He's like, can't you read it? It's like, no, I don't read Sanskrit. And the tattoo said, make reasonable decisions. It's like really weird. Odd movie. But I can't even remember what movie that was. It was probably terrible. But, it was Owen Wilson like, hey, I'm youthful. I'm cute. Maybe you want to go out with me. It's like, aren't you like 63 years old and do you have like 80 pounds of foundation on to try to just dull those wrinkles? It's absurd after a while. You're not going to be able to sell me a youthful Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson, like into their late 50s. It's sort of these carefree, young, single guys, out on the scene. Give me a fucking break. There's only so much makeup and alcohol can do. Oh, hello and welcome. Welcome and hello. It's Ryan. Oh my God. It's Ryan. Yippity doo dah. Anyway, guys, hello and welcome. We're talking Nio, ticker symbol NIO. Stock's been going absolutely crazy. I tried to convince you turds to buy it. Like it may be Chinese junk. I don't know, guys, but in the last month, the stock's moved up 76.5% on increasing volume, increasing excitement, increasing partnerships. The more people see Onvo, which is their new sub brand, that's basically what their first model is taking on. Tesla Model Y. It's with battery swap. It's less expensive. A lot of people say it has some features that are actually better. Other people criticize it. I know there was this big thing, of course, Mr. P. If you watch Nio videos, Mr. P. He's the guy in China. He just does tons and tons of Nio videos, hands-on, great videos. I love his channel. Look him up. Like and subscribe to his channel, not to mine. My channel's terrible. But in any case, guys, welcome and hello. It's Lion Trade. The stock is terrible. Back under 6. It's possible. I mean, remember, it just went up 76% off of, like 370. So going back under 6 wouldn't be like the end of the world. It wouldn't be totally unexpected after going up that much in 1 month. So quite possible, sir. Who else is here, guys? We've got Colombian Kingpin. We said hello. Javier, clap my dog. Hello, clap my dog. We got Jeff Presley, near ride or die with Whispering Puppy. Oh, give me a bone and I'll find my way home. We bought at 5:30. Good man, clap my dog. Chilling. First Nio video. Yeah, I made a lot of Nio videos, guys. Nobody watches them, so I kind of stopped making them. I was calling them ST range anxiety, strange anxiety. I thought it was kind of funny and weird, but nobody else seemed to appreciate it. What's up, Vladi Z? How you doing, my good man in the red hat? We got Jeff Presley, Chinese government stimulus, market decides buy after 3 years. Guys, that's exactly what I was going to say, Jeff. This thing has been in a downtrend for 3 years. The only time it crossed the 50-day moving average was back here last July on a pump. So in the last 3 years, the stock's only crossed over the 50-day moving average briefly once. And oh, by the way, just did it again. And it did it in convincing fashion. The stock does not appear to be running out of gas. When you have to kind of throw everything away and sweep all the cards off the table, kind of do one of those deals where you pull the tablecloth out, but nothing is left standing. It just all comes off and breaks. When the stock is broken down like this, the borrowing is just, to me, in the 3s and the 4s is irrational. But the mechanics have it, and you just take these previous levels mostly off the table. I mean, does 60 mean anything? No. Does 15 mean anything? Possibly. But the bottom line is, if you look at the resistance line that this thing is currently breaking through, also breaking through the 50-day moving average, there's really not much resistance above that you can define. You're just left more with the fact that the fundamentals have gone from very uncertain, very bearish to extremely bullish. It looks like management has their act together. They're, like I said, they're signing partners all the time, not just for swap, not just for charging, but for partnerships like the power grid. Battery swap makes so much sense. The only reason I can think of that a fixed battery would be superior to a battery swap model would be like engineering complexity, lack of initial cost to sort of build those mechanisms. But really, if you think about it logically, there's battery swap is just completely superior. It takes away so many of the reasons people don't want electric cars. It takes away the fear. It makes the batteries last longer. It lowers the initial cost. The battery swap stations are able to stabilize and supplement the power grid. There's just so many reasons battery swap makes sense. And people were saying, well, at the time, and folks like Tesla were saying it's just not feasible. but it is feasible. And everybody realizes that now, but Nio was willing to put their money where their mouth was years and years and years ago. When everyone else was at maximum fear, Nio was full speed ahead on battery swap. Nio believed in their vision. And now the market is rewarding the fact that it appears that they were right. And it appears battery swap, everyone else is going to be trying to catch up. Everyone else is going to have to sign on to their standard. People are signing on just for their charging network. I mean, it just got a huge partner for their charging network. So Nio kind of built an overall company where so many of these other companies were just scrambling for delivery numbers, 1 or 2 models. Nio's building a whole company. Now, the Envo is their mass market, and then the Firefly is their economy model. I have to wonder about these guys that build the rocket ship companies. You know, why are you so insecure? Some little problematic south of the equator, you know, like Bezos. And I mean, Elon Musk is like legit. He's, you know, but what's the deal? That the Oracle guy, I think they've all got these rocket ship companies, and they're like Xpeng. They want to build flying cars. When I look at an investment, I mean, the flying car is cool. It's legit. They have orders, but it's not going to be a profitable item over the long term. How many people can afford to buy, you know, a $250,000 flying car? It just doesn't make sense when you're trying to gain a mass market share in the EV business. Doesn't make sense to me. Obviously, it makes sense to Xpeng, but I see it as like a vanity project. There's plenty of other companies building those. I don't see why it makes sense for an EV company. I don't think it's going to be, you know, profitable for them. I see Nio doing the smart things, like, you know, Elon Musk decides, hey, I want to spend, you know, what, 8-10 years developing and building and bringing to market the Cybertruck rather than bringing to market an affordable economy car. I mean, I know they're going to do both eventually, but the order doesn't make any sense to me. Like what Nio is doing makes sense. They bring out a broad line, sort of that mid to upper tier. It allows them to sort of get closer to margins with less units. They get battery swap out there. They gain market acceptance. They prove the concept. Then they go down one notch to sort of that lower mid-range, the affordable car for the working person, appeals to families. They make it so you can camp in it, haul in it. The interior space is incredible. It's got features for people in the back seat that are just unheard of. The Envo is it. The Envo solidifies Nio, and their competition is terrified. I don't know if Zeekr is weaker, but again, Mr. P is putting out a video where they just went down and went off on Envo. Oh, it's a piece of crap. The suspension is crap. The battery is crap. Thou dost protest too much, Shirley. And yes, I called you Shirley, you weak sauce turds over at Zeekr. Let us roll out Envo in peace. Let us have our moment in the sun. It's not like I'm part of Nio, not like I'm part of Envo, but the bottom line, it seems like the competition is worried about Envo, and it seems like they should be. And it seems like they should have been building out their battery swap network 5 years ago, but they weren't. Oh. Wow, 14 brave souls watching this turd. Anyway, I don't really know why I made a Nio video, just kind of something to do. Nio's the tide finally turning, a bargain at $5. The Envo gamble could worsen liquidity crunch. I think that's true, but I think orders are going to be very, very strong. I think their factories are financed a lot by the government. I think they're going to start laying off a lot of the cost for their charging network and their battery swap stations to partners. I think they're going to aggressively move into Europe, despite the tariffs. We're talking of, you know, there's rumors of them trying to buy a factory in Brussels so they can manufacture domestically. But the bottom line is, guys, how this market, you know, values these companies is deliveries. And Nio's been consistently, you know, back up over 20,000 deliveries for the last several months. Deutsche Bank expects them at 21,000 this month. Now, why is that important? Because Nio says this year they're targeting 5,000 units a month in October for Envoy, and then 20,000 units by March 2025. So by the end of the first quarter 2025, Nio is going to be on pace to build, 250,000 Envos every single year. They're going to be on that pace. And Firefly's already going to be coming out too. And you have to presume they're going to be growing Nio sales. It certainly looks like they will be. Where's this thing going by mid next year, guys? To me, it looks like, 60,000, 70,000. I know we've said this before and things sort of fizzled. But it really looks to me like, Nio's more on the right track now. Management has their act together. They brought in a lot of new people. All their 40% of their store managers for the Envo stores are ex-Tesla store managers. So they're really going after Tesla in every way. And the Envo's cheaper. You don't have to buy the battery. People tell me why battery swap doesn't make sense. I mean, people who own Nios utilize it like crazy. They swap on average. I was doing the math a few months ago in a video. It's more than once a week they're swapping. Every single Nio in existence swaps more than once a week. And all the other brands use their chargers, use their charging network. Charging will probably go up, as they roll out Envo, because initially there's only going to be like 1,000 swapping stations that are the modified Gen 3 and the new Gen 4. That'll work with the Envo L60, but that's going to ramp quickly. They have these partnerships. I'm sure in 2025, they're going to aggressively build out those Gen 4 stations, particularly in urban areas where they're selling a lot of Envo L60s. But we'll just have to see how that goes, guys. The exciting thing is I think there's a lot more room to run in this stock. I've been looking for, 15 level. I think the thing absurdly went up to 60, just went nuts. And, there's no justification for that. This was just bonkers, I guess. Where did it actually go? Actually went up to like 67, something like that. And then consolidated a bit at 40. It's okay. That was nuts. I mean, I'm sorry if you bought up there. It was a very bad idea. But I think it was equally crazy that it fell very recently down to 3. When deliveries were picking up, everything was happening. I think people really doubted because people have kind of gotten used to sort of domestic nameplates and, Elon Musk, where they're promising something for years and years and years and teasing it and delaying it. And, could be a great product at the end of the day, but, the hype kind of fizzles where Nio, it's early. It's right on time. Exactly what they promise. And, they're really good at making things. They have the full power, I think, of the Chinese state behind them. And I think Nio is going to become a worldwide force. I don't really see what's going to stop them. Tariffs are a temporary roadblock. Trade moves worldwide, goods move worldwide, money moves worldwide. And, despite these sort of, ghost state, the state, I'm searching for the wrong word. I haven't really slept much this week, guys, but the state subsidizes the industry. They're saying in all kinds of different ways in China. That's how they're able to make these amazing cars for such reasonable prices. But you have to look at it like America and Europe. They subsidize different things when it's good for them too. Like when they want to develop EV, I mean, the government was subsidizing the hell out of Tesla. Tesla probably wouldn't have survived certain times without those subsidies. But that's the way things go. I mean, you're trying to build an entirely new paradigm. This is really a paradigm shift into EV, and China's running with it. China's by far the most important market. And Nio is really, really buzzing in China. Let's see. No, never. Turds don't sub and like. Not a lurker's out of his mind. Anyway, guys, nobody's watching this. I'm not talking about anything. Anybody have anything interesting to say about Nio? Interns, they end up selling at Google. Yeah, that's that Google one. Here's a fun one. GME, is there some foreplay? Yeah, not surprised. A lot of, but and the institutional ownership, guys, was has been running at an all-time low. You can see it. I mean, it's just fallen and fallen and fallen every single month. down directly into the toilet. I mean, at one point there was like almost 600 million shares, and now it's not even 300 million. So the institutional ownership has been cut in half since this massive pump you see up here, and it just keeps going down and down and down. I mean, shame on them for buying up there, honestly. But anyway, yeah, the put call ratio is pretty ugly. But the thing you've heard this quarter is a lot of billionaires, a lot of hedge funds, they're piling into Nio, and those filings aren't in yet. So it's going to be really interesting to see how those filings come in, because honestly, the stock's not going to move up 70%, 76% in 1 month without institutions pushing on it. Retails love Nio forever. And retail didn't move the stock up 77% in 1 month. Retail doesn't have that kind of juice, doesn't have that kind of balls, not the ganas, not the desire. Anyway, guys, what's up, Christopher? I'm trying to do some Nio. Nobody watches. There's not even 20 people here. It's, Lion Trade doesn't like it. Lion Trade hates the stock. How am I going to pump it? Yeah, I'm giving you more vids. I'm just delirious. I've been working, and I got to get the hell out of here. But yeah, I don't know if I work harder than Anthony Noto, but I definitely don't work smarter. So that's a couple of wins in my column, if you know what I mean. Danny, don't. Another rate cut flying car. You mean like a helicopter? No, I mean like, yeah, one of those quadcopters. It basically comes out of another car. Xpeng is building it. They're already it's already there. So eventually have to join Nio with battery swap. Yeah, I mean, I think the government's going to mandate swap in certain instances and going to push more and more people onto the standard. It doesn't have to be every company, but it's going to be enough. They already have some giant companies in the battery swap alliance. Firm hold on the energy. Yeah, the energy grid needs Nio, especially in China. And they already have partnerships, I think, in Norway or Germany, a couple of countries in Europe. They're already part of the power grid. Yeah, the Chinese government has already picked the winners. Clap my dog. I completely agree with you. And I think Nio is going to be one of the big winners in this race worldwide. And I think the Chinese government has already decided that. And I think they have so much technology, engineering they can impart to whatever companies they want. And I think they can tell whatever companies they want to partner with Nio, adopt this standard. They can push this standard worldwide and basically gain all kinds of geopolitical benefit by doing so. But that's what all countries are trying to do, guys. That's what power is about. That's what our power in the tech sector is about. Geopolitical power, it's a lot more than military. It's trade. It's knowledge. See, your university systems. China's catching up in a lot of different ways. China's society is modernizing. Their middle class is growing. That's why they want the economy to grow so desperately. They have to keep up this charade. If the economy grows and people are buying new EVs, they don't notice sort of the repressive nature of the government, shall we say. But it is what it is, guys. Our products flow there. I mean, European car companies need China more than China needs Europe. And China is the big 800-pound gorilla in the EV market. US is almost insignificant. It will be very significant and adoption will be there, but it's kind of very slow meeting resistance right now. So I don't know, guys. I like continuation through 15. Call me crazy. Maximum pain today was, I think, 6. So blew by that pretty readily. And, like I say, market makers can buy calls as well as sell calls. So the puts are pretty weak. I mean, some action, but I don't know. What do things look like next week? Next week, max pain 550. Puts are a little bit stronger at 6. So we'll see. Puts pretty strong at 650. And then all the calls, 6, 650, 7. There's quite a few calls and they fall off sharply to 750. So looks like bulls are going to try to push to 7 and bears are going to try to push down to 6. No shocker there. And, that tug of war just depends who wants to throw more money into the stock. If the momentum keeps up, if institutions keep buying, just have to see how it goes. I definitely am not prepared to dump here in the 6s on a stock that's been up to $67 just a couple of years ago. And everything's moving in the right direction. I think it's definitely should be in the double digits, but time will tell. It's certainly made a hell of a move as of late. Anyway, we got the mark of quality, Carl C. Mark, the mattress king of Chicago. My average still around 880. Bought on the way down. Didn't want to overexpose. Yeah, I mean, nah, that doesn't make you a weak hand. I mean, it doesn't, just averaging down for averaging down's sake is not a good idea if you don't believe strongly in the stock. I mean, you don't want to own more of a stinking turd just to say your average is lower. Because you have a bigger overall position, it keeps going down. What the hell does that help you? I'm down a little bit less on a per share basis, but more in the aggregate. Your fly is open. Like, yeah, I mean, Carl, it went up. Like, if we could all predict the future and we all knew a stock was going to jump up 70, 80%, of course, I'd have bought more too. But I thought it was going to go up, but I didn't think this quickly, this dramatically. No, I have a ton of Leaps DVD. My options are going absolutely insane. You wouldn't believe it if I showed it to him. You'd say I photoshopped them. How many contracts I have? It's fucking crazy, crazy like a fox. Anyway, guys, I now have options account. My Nio shares are purchase tax-free account, which cannot. Yeah, most of the tax-free accounts, retirement accounts, they don't let you do options. Some do, though, I think. Green week coming up. Any thoughts? Yeah, no, I definitely, I predict continuation with Nio. I think the stimulus is not at all priced in yet. Just on the news of the stimulus, just moved up a little bit, like 20. This should double on the news of that stimulus. It's going to really punch sales through the roof, and it's just at the right time with Onvo just starting. The stimulus was announced and Onvo starting deliveries right at the same time, targeted right at that middle class buyer. Timing couldn't be more perfect if Nio was being supported by the Chinese state, which they are. Outperformed SoFi over the next 12 months. Yeah, I could agree with you on that. I mean, it's just hard to say. Like, Galileo makes some huge announcements. We see some huge numbers there. That Nio's SoFi is going to make a similar move. SoFi can easily go to 15, 16. Easily. Almost overnight. Yeah, I'm not crazy, guys. I may be chunky, but I'm not crazy. My favorite type of peanut butter, you guessed it, chunky. Anyway, guys, dude, can I borrow your hat next weekend? Sure. You come pick it up. Double Wide 6 Repairs LLC. What are you gonna make me sign a contract? Got your YouTube avatar LLC'd? What are you lawyered up? I don't know. I'm gonna need a release in triplicate if I'm gonna loan you that hat, Double Wide. Emilio Aguirre for SoFi. The move has been impressive. It was 370 stock. Yeah, I mean, Lion Trade, I loaded the boat. I absolutely loaded the boat. Oh, God, I'm brilliant. Can't even stand to be in the same room with myself. I make myself physically sick. My physiotherapist told me that I have very flexible knees. I'm basically Mr. Tickle from the waist down. Well, that's probably from testing out all those mattresses with Mrs. C-Mark. Deuce Kabuski, I'm clapping cheeks with Nio. Thanks for the shout out. You got it, Lion Trade. Good to see you. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. We got Not a Lurker. Thanks for moderating, Not a Lurker. I'm going to end this thing because I'm not really saying anything and I got to go home and do some stuff. I watched your Nio video, then bought. Now I'm looking great. Need to know more about the CEO. I know his entire biography. He's a car guy. He started out a car business. He's an online guy. He's a tech guy. I believe he's a visionary, but I think the government has installed people around him to kind of get the manufacturing going. But I think it's William Bin Lee, but they just say William Lee. He's a really smart guy. He has a vision. He jives with the Chinese government. He's not going after like robo-taxi. I think in China, like robo-taxi might not make as much sense. The cost of labor is not as high. I think it's much more important to, have the car be efficient. It's like all the taxis in the big cities there, they're already using a rudimentary form of battery swap. You can find the videos on the internet, but, I really like the CEO. I encourage you to watch. You can read all about his biography and his history. He's a very intelligent guy, very committed to this company, very hands-on. I think he has an incredible vision. So, yeah, I mean, the Chinese government is obviously far more harsh. I mean, they put, tons of people to death and they're willing to put companies to death. It's like, they're going to let the skyscrapers go half finished and rot into the sand over the next 1,000 years. They're just, you can't bail out everything. I mean, certain excesses are just a bridge too far, and the government can't make everything right. I think the Chinese government tries to make sober decisions and steer their economy. My thoughts on Diddy to lion trade. I mean, he's a monster. He's just a complete sociopath. I mean, I saw a story. His son was like accused of rape on a yacht. I mean, he's completely off the charts, completely off the chain. I mean, it's just everybody's known it for a long time, but the wealthy and powerful can get away with almost anything, up to and including, it seems like, hidden human trafficking, sex crimes that go on for decades. I mean, Epstein was next to presidents of both parties, guys. It is what it is. I mean, there's a very seedy side of, money and power and hip hop and entertainment and everything else. I mean, read the autobiography by like Ted Nugent. I mean, read some of this stuff. Like some of the stuff that used to pass for acceptable. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about like Diddy. I mean, his music is garbage. He doesn't have any talent. I don't know. People like he's an amazing producer, whatever. I mean, it sounds like he just operated through like violence and extortion and all kinds of other means. It does. I don't think that makes you brilliant. It just maybe makes you a thug, but certainly was able to become very, very successful. But they say like a certain amount of CEOs, they tend to be like having tendencies of like sociopaths, because to advance that far, you have to sort of not care about sort of things that most people care about. Doesn't mean you're like not human or you're a monster, but you're just very, very focused and driven. So you don't have to be like a total like psychopath or anything, but you have certain tendencies that you can tune out like feelings and just focus on your task and, think about excelling at all costs. Most people can't do that. Most people are too weak, too sensitive, too emotional, whatever you want to call it. So, you combine already being like some evil psychopath, weird pervert guy who wants to do this like human trafficking, sex crimes, racketeering stuff. And then you get ultra successful where you have money and mansions and you can do everything behind closed doors. I don't know. I think it's not even a question of like Diddy. Obviously, Diddy's done. Diddy, done. But it's a question of all the other dominoes that are going to fall. I mean, everybody else that was at these parties, like, passing around drugged up underage, sex slaves and stuff. This is all on video. And the FBI, they have all this stuff. They said 50 witnesses and 300 search warrants already served. I think a lot of people are absolutely shitting their chonies right now, and they should be. So a lot of stuff goes on, a lot of stuff goes on behind closed doors. And, I've never been to a sex trafficking party, but I sleep well at night knowing that I've made possibly fairly boring decisions with my life, but good decisions, in my mind. I don't know. I guess I can't get my head around like how someone wants to do like human trafficking or something. I don't know. You're a monster. Your brain isn't wired right. I'm glad he's locked up and they're not letting him out. But it sounds like there's probably dozens and dozens and dozens of people around him who need to be locked up, similarly taken away from society. So they can't continue to harm the vulnerable and the less powerful. That's my rant on Diddy. But, this isn't really supposed to be about Diddy. It's supposed to be about Nio. P. Diddles probably takes stock advice from Morgan Fudley. I don't know, man. I mean, the guy's obviously been very successful financially, but a lot of things matter a lot more than money. I mean, I'm fine to be my average ass self and not involved in any of these things. But again, it's like you and I, we probably can't understand this because we're not wired this way. We don't like, oh, if I had some money, I'm going to start like, selling kids into like sex slavery. I wouldn't. I would get like a nice classic car collection and take Princess J on some awesome vacations. Like, but you know, some people, they want to buy mansions with built-in dungeons so them and their friends can do this stuff. And it's like, dude, the fact that people know about this for so many years and don't do anything about it, that's the real sort of horrific part. That, you know, everybody knows about all these guys, whether it's Weinstein or Bill Cosby or Epstein, or, you know, they had the guy dead to rights in Miami. They had Epstein and they let him off with nothing. I mean, they had this guy. They knew he was trafficking kids. They knew it. They had him. And they gave him this deal. Hey, no federal prosecution. We're going to let you plead to something. And he stayed on house arrest for like a year or something in a mansion and went on for another 10 years just raping kids. The government knew all about it and let him do it. How connected do you have to be? How fucked up is our society? I don't know. Trump was on those planes. Clinton was on those planes. I don't know, man. A lot going on under the surface that just totally out of my frame of reference. Oh God, the Lolita Express. You know, his island was named had some nickname about like pedophilia. So I don't know, guys. Seems like if you're law enforcement, the feds, these things, you hear about these things going on, you really gotta get on it. Chop. But again, this isn't the SVU edition of Un Poco Mas. Benson and Stabler are not here. But it's in the news, guys, and it's on everybody's minds. Like, how does this stuff happen? How do we let it happen? How does it get here? People are just way too powerful. People are able to get away with way too much for way too long, and everybody knows about it. And a lot of prosecutors are to blame, I think. The government's to blame. Law enforcement's to blame. But more importantly, everybody's complicit. Everybody who knew about this, all the powerful, the only people speaking out, only people with any balls in this society are like 50 Cent and Leah Remini. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's see, guys. You guys are talking about UK shares. Yeah, I mean, Jeff, I don't know about that in this case because everything's on video. I think people will know. I think Epstein was like a cloak and dagger guy. They say he worked with the CIA and stuff. So Diddy was not that sophisticated. Diddy just taped everything with and they have the footage. I think they have everything. I think they know. I think we might know. I think we might find out because I think those people are going to be indicted. I think those indictments already exist and they're going to be unsealed. And that's why people are so fucking scared. Anyway, guys, I got to go. Sorry. It's Nio. I don't know what's happening. I don't even know what I'm talking about. After hours, still up 3 cents. And yeah, 655 coming off of 370 just like 20 trading days ago. So this has been an absolutely massive move. But they're borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. There's only like 180 million shares short, I think, but like 380 million or something borrowed. So they've been desperate to attack this stock. I think a lot of people want to hold it down for whatever reason. They made a lot of money doing so, but like I said, I think 370 was a bridge too far, and I think when you over push like that, the slingshot comes back the other side, and I think it's loaded for bear, and I think it's going to go up quite a bit. It's going to break down that 50-day. Wouldn't be at all surprised. Break down the 150. It's even 200-day moving average, and head on up from there. Time will tell. God. Hopefully we don't get any more, horrible sex crime stories, mass shootings, any other hurricanes. God, man. Hope the people down south, hope help gets there in time. I know there's millions and millions of people in trouble. So thoughts and prayers, guys. Thoughts and prayers. I know it doesn't help, but it's really all you can do as a shallow gesture. So, but no, seriously, I hope everybody's okay. Doesn't really help, but hope in one hand, pee in the other, see which one fills up faster. Anyway, guys, it's the Nio stock. I wasn't really talking about Nio, but ostensibly that's what this train wreck of a video was about. Yeah, I have been a huge believer in Nio, and I was upside down. I averaged down hard. I think now I'm almost green on the stock. My options are massively profitable, but overall, I think I'm still red on my actual shares because bought a few too high, but that's the way it goes, land trade. You live and you learn. Guys, thanks a lot for watching. I sincerely appreciate all of you. Thank you so much, Not a Lurker J Money, for producing the show. Hope you have a great weekend, you and your beautiful bald head, and the rest of you. Keep it safe out there, guys. Don't make any stupid decisions. Don't attend any white parties or freak offs or anything like that. It might sound kind of cool, but no, it's not. It's not cool. It's not cool, dude. People got to start doing the right fucking thing. Shine sunshine on these bastards. Expose them. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Peace. I'm out.